A Thursday night around the association. Previews and picks live right here on this Thursday on the early line on SportsGrid. Familiar foes from Eastern Conference Finals of the past facing off tonight in Miami. The Heat, second leg of a home back-to-back, but an 8-point home underdog against the Boston Celtics. Of course, the C's the best team in all of the association this year. The record for Boston that is best in the league, 34-10, 14-9 away from Beantown. In Miami, disappointing effort last night at full strength, virtually for the Heat, as an 11-point home favorite against the shorthanded Memphis Grizzlies. In the debut of Terry Rozier, they lost outright by 9, 105-96 as that 11-point home favorite against Memphis. Terry Rozier, first game in Miami, now against his former team. He played his first 4 NBA seasons with the Celtics. 8-point spread, Donnie, seems a little bit large tonight in South Beach.
It is a little large spread here, but again, are we going to doubt the Boston Celtics here coming into this basketball game healthy? Porzingis sat out the last game. Looks like he's anticipated to be back in the lineup, which gives you Holiday, White, Brown, and Tatum along with Porzingis. Something just isn't right yet with the Miami Heat. Eventually, they are going to get it together because once you have Terry Rozier, you get a little bit of the nerves. You're flying in late. Maybe you don't know the entire playbook there on offense. Trying to get your shots up will probably be better tonight settling in. But this is one of those games where until the Miami Heat, I see it on the court, I'm not going to be able to trust it just yet. Even though Jimmy Butler has been back, not playing like the Jimmy Butler that we know. I know I'm going to get a rested Celtics team in here. The only thing that could knock you off is, hey, man, the Celtics flew into Miami early. They hit the club scene last night. They're not ready to play. I'm going to buck that trend. I think the Celtics will be able to handle the Heat here in Miami.
Boston has been the NBA's best team all year long, booked as a favorite in 42 of the 44 games. Again, best record in the NBA, 34-10 straight up as the favorite, 20-19-2 against the number. When you look at what they have done on the road this year as the road favorite, 18-11-2. That's 21-19-2 against the spread as the favorite overall this year. 224.5. By NBA regular season standards, Donnie, that's still pretty much middle of the pack, maybe on the lower side. Last night it was 215 for that over-under. Between Miami and Memphis, game stayed well under. The Heat unable to reach that century mark. Terry Rozier, his points prop last night in his Miami debut, 16.5. No number listed just yet against his former team in Boston. I would keep an eye on that prop. Elsewhere in the Eastern Conference, the Indiana Pacers looking for their first win with Pascal Siakam in the organization. A 5-point home favorite tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid. Embiid's first game since the 70-point, 18-rebound performance earlier this week on a Monday night against the San Antonio Spurs. What do you expect for the encore performance out of JoJo tonight in Indy?
Yeah, maybe a little bit less than the 70, but you take a look at his last 5 games, which he has played in, 41 points, 36, 33, and 70 here. And also, we still should have some decent tempo in this game. 237.5 looks like it might be a nice over. I do think Joel Embiid has a big night, but also, what are we waiting for here? Tyrese Halliburton to get back into the lineup for the Pacers, not expected to be in that lineup tonight. This should be a Sixers victory. Even though it is on the road, we know the Sixers play very, very good basketball at home, but still above 500 on the road. And if you are a man down like the Pacers will be tonight, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to go on the road and cover, just like I like the Celtics.
Tyrese Halliburton has really been out of the lineup for the last week and a half for Indiana. Yeah. The Pacers, of course, who got off to a very hot start in terms of offensive output this year, over in 14 of their first 15 games, over in 16 of their first 18 games this season. Under in 7 of their last 8 without their point guard really orchestrating things offensively. Meanwhile, the Sixers have the highest over percentage in all of the association entering tonight at 62%. 26 games over for Philly, 16 games under. The Pacers are a decent underdog this year, 15-10-1 against the spread. Not many better teams covering numbers than Philadelphia. 27-15 against the number this season. And as a favorite, 23-10. The best cover percentage for any team as a favorite that has been booked as a favorite more than 13 times. That is how good Philly has been, even when they've been expected to win games. 36.5, the points prop for Joel Embiid. He has scored at least 30 points in 21 straight games, even when he had 70 the other night. 5 assists. Game prior on Saturday against Charlotte, 5 assists. Only 2 assists in the game on Friday in Orlando, but 10 dimes against the Denver Nuggets. I think Joel Embiid's doing a pretty good job of facilitating, averaging about 5.5 assists in the month of January. His assist prop tonight, 5.5, even money to that over. A big night inside Madison Square Garden. Denver continues its East Coast road trip here against the New York Knicks. A 2-point spread in favor of the Nugs. The over-under, 222.5. Again, the New York Knicks have won 10 of 12 games with OG Anunoby in the lineup. In all 10 victories, the total has stayed under 222.5, that total tonight.
Last 5 games here for Jalen Brunson, point guard here for the New York Knicks. How about this? 30 points, 41, 38, and 30 here. Absolutely getting after it. If you're looking at this number, that is a nice line here for the Knicks. Dogs in the Garden at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Knicks tonight because we're anticipating that starting lineup. Brunson, DiVincenzo, Anunoby, Randall, and Hartenstein. Look, I like Denver. It's hard to say this. Hey, look, basically a pick-em game, almost like you equated to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Any given night, spreads under 3. Just take the Denver Nuggets. I hear you. I think the Garden is going to be rocking tonight. Give me the slight dog price on the Knicks here.
The New York Knicks under in 11 of their last 12 games overall. Again, winning 10 of their last 12, but only as a dog outright twice. Not a great underdog this year as things go for the New York Knicks. 7, 9, and 2 against the spread. The Nuggets have been booked as a favorite in the far majority of their games this year. 19, 21, and 2 against the number. A 2-point road favorite tonight. Nikola Jokic coming off a 30-plus point triple-double the other night. His triple-double prop against the New York Knicks inside Madison Square Garden, plus 230. Now, we know that the Joker is not motivated by the individual race for the NBA MVP award, but he's been stacking up big performances here right alongside Joel Embiid, plus 130 for JoJo to win his second consecutive MVP award. Nikola Jokic just over $1 behind at plus 250. A playoff rematch tonight in San Francisco between the Northern California rivals, the Sacramento Kings, and the Golden State Warriors. Of course, the Dubs returning to action after missing a week due to the untimely death of their assistant coach, Dejan Milojevic. They returned in a big way last night. 22-point victory against the Atlanta Hawks. They covered as a 6.5-point favorite. Tonight at home inside the Chase Center in San Francisco, the 2-point underdog against the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, the Warriors have had enough time off here and played last night, but still not a road game playing in their own building. They'll be fine energy-wise, but the only question is going to be is when you line these basketball games up, we talked about it yesterday, the energy on the court, the emotional night it was, taking it again. I think there's just a general letdown tonight from an emotional standpoint for the Golden State Warriors, and it tells you a lot that the Kings are coming in after a great performance from the Warriors last night, that they're favored in this ball game. I think it's tough to get up for this game for the Warriors. Not to say they can't win it and won't win it, but I'm just looking for the Kings here from that emotional standpoint of how big a night it was last night. It's only natural for a slight letdown here for the Warriors. I'll go Kings tonight.
The Warriors have been a really good underdog this season. In fact, Sacramento and Golden State, the two best cover teams as a dog this year. The Dubs, of course, the underdog here, getting 2 points. 12-5 against the spread, but only 4 outright victories as an underdog. 4-13 straight up. That's an interesting distinction for a team in Golden State who, if they're booked as an underdog, you would expect those games to be close, and they would probably pull off a couple of outright upsets. Not necessarily the case for the Warriors. When you look at this Golden State team, though, they can't just keep covering numbers as a dog. They need to start winning outright. 3 games below 500. They have officially reached their halfway point of this 2023-24 season after last night. 41 games for Golden State. 19-22 straight up. From Northern California, we go to Southern California. In Los Angeles, the Lakers a 4.5-point favorite against the Chicago Bulls. The over-under 229. The Lakers coming off a loss in the Battle of L.A. just a few nights ago. No LeBron James dealing with an ankle issue in that game. He is listed as in tonight, 25.5, the points prop for the King.
Yeah, and I actually like the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, even though I don't like them as a basketball team. I think the matchup is good against the Bulls. The Bulls aren't full tilt. But also, Ben, we just talked about a scenario where why would the Lakers be buying? Do you know what else you have to do? You have to sell your front office and your management that they should be buyers as well at the deadline, which means pick up a couple games here, get some momentum, get back over 500 here and say, you know what? We might be one piece away from catching fire and really doing some damage in the Western Conference. Give me the Lakers tonight. I'll lay it at 4.5.
Nikola Vucevic, pretty much an automatic double-double, reflected in his odds to record a double-double tonight at minus 300. 18.5 the points prop, 12.5 the rebounding prop for Vucevic. We showed you the Chicago Bulls 2 weeks out from the trade deadline. Are they sellers ahead of that deadline in the association? One final game to look at tonight around the association. We go to Brooklyn. The Nets a 4-point home underdog against the Timberwolves. Brooklyn was a 4-point home underdog earlier this week during Rivals Week against the Knicks. The Knicks won that game by 5. The Nets have not covered in 8 of their last 10 games as an underdog, but the 2 covers, 2 outright victories for Brooklyn, plus 144 on that money line, Donnie.
I'm going right back to the well here. I told you I like the Brooklyn Nets against the Knicks. They actually had that lead entering into the fourth quarter and lost it. I'm going to say and go back and give me the 4 points tonight here with the Brooklyn Nets, as I think there's a legitimate chance they can win, but I'll take the points just to be safe.
The T-Wolves continuing an East Coast swing last night in the nation's capital, an 11-point victory against the Washington Wizards. Did not cover. Despite Minnesota having the tied best record in the Western Conference, 31-13, alongside the Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota booked as a favorite 33 times, 16, 15, and 2. Not the best cover team when they are expected to win and do so rather comfortably. I might sprinkle on that money line for the Brooklyn Nets, second leg of a back-to-back for Minnesota, plus 144. Again, that number, a 4-point dog. Not the most robust night in men's college basketball. Only one top 25 team in action, a top 10 team, number 9, Arizona, a 17.5-point road favorite in Corvallis against Oregon State. The Beavs at the bottom of the Pac-12.
Yeah, good luck in that game here. It's one of those where you take a look at how advanced is that game going to be. Does Arizona really need to be by that much? And maybe they just get lulled to sleep in this game. I guess I'll lean towards the points in this one, Ben. That's a lot for a road team.
Oregon State 1-6 straight up in Pac-12 play throughout this season. Let me see if I can find their trends, though, because if I remember correctly, they've been covering a lot of numbers booked as an underdog. Let's take a look here. Again, we're talking 17.5 points. They've lost 5 straight games. They have covered in 4 of their last 6. They have not covered in their last 2. 18-point dog against Colorado, 15-point dog against Utah. Both of those games on the road. In their games at home as an underdog in Pac-12 play, they are 3-1 against the spread. And of course, that marquee showdown in the SEC, top 10 tilt in women's college basketball, South Carolina and LSU. We'll give you best bets up next.